Hey guys, it's Indy, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about some cheap and affordable remedies for cold sore treatment that you can find around your home. So firstly, I will make a disclaimer. I 100% get cold sores. I've gotten them since I was a little kid. I think it's something like, I seriously googled this the other day. It's something like 56% of the world's population gets cold sores. So I know that it's something that's embarrassing, it makes you feel gross, but it's seriously something that everyone gets. There's nothing to be ashamed of. I have a cold sore right now, just FYI. I thought this would be a perfect time to make this video because I actually do have a cold sore. I see some YouTube videos where people do like acne coverage routines or acne treatment routines, but they seriously have no acne, and it's like, what about this is relatable? Just wanted to say that you really don't have to go to the chemist and be buying these expensive cold sore creams that really don't do that much to help at all. So the first thing I'm going to be talking about is, obviously we don't know exactly what causes cold sores, but it seems to always happen when people are stressed, which usually is what I would associate with your vitamin levels, your mineral levels are all going to be depleted. So one really great important thing you can do when you feel, either if you are actually just going through a really stressful time and you don't want to get a cold sore, or you do have a cold sore and you want to try and stop it from being worse. Sometimes you can even stop a cold sore in its tracks just using vitamins. The vitamins I've heard of that are most useful are lysine is like a really big one, and also zinc as well. And instead of like maybe taking zinc, you can eat things like pumpkin seeds. They're really high in zinc and they're really healthy. Another thing too would be magnesium is something that gets depleted when you're stressed, so I would be thinking about taking a magnesium supplement. And iron, especially for women, because women often have low iron levels, can be really important as well. So those are the sort of more internal fixes for cold sores, not necessarily fixes, but it can stop them from being triggered. My next tip is, from the moment that you get a cold sore, you feel that little tingling feeling, is ice. It will stop the blisters from forming, it will bring down the swelling, it will stop the pain, it will almost sterilize it. It's just great. Ice is probably the best thing you can do from the second that you feel that you have a cold sore. Ice is something you have to put on quite early. If your cold sore has already started to scab over, that's not going to help. It's going to actually hinder the healing process. So only when you've got like the really bad painful blisters and it's very swollen and tender, that's when you can use the ice to bring the swelling down. The next thing that I would recommend when the cold sore is actually in that blister stage is getting it to the scabbing stage as quickly as possible by drying it out. Basically, this is speeding up the healing process. It's shortening the time when you've got a painful and also infectious cold sore. For drying it out, you can use a lot of things. You can use like just simple rubbing alcohol, and also if you don't have rubbing alcohol around your house, one sort of random thing you can use is perfume. You can just take a little Q-tip and just spritz whatever cheap perfume you have. Don't use your Chanel, that's probably not what I would recommend. But yeah, spritz a cotton tip and just apply that to the area. One thing you can also try is, there's a lot of like natural oils and natural essences that you can use. Something like, I just got a little thing of eucalyptus oil. So just anything like that will help. And one thing I do have, if you can get your hands on a product like this, go to your chemist and ask whether they have a homemade in-house cold sore remedy, because pharmacists have found things that have helped treat cold sores. This is one that I have from my local pharmacy. My mum knows someone that makes it. It's just a cold sore lotion, cold sore treatment. It seriously cost me like $8, you can see. And I'm gonna smell it. I'm gonna smell it, let you know what it smells like. It really smells like tea tree, so I'm pretty sure it has tea tree in it. So again, liquid tea tree oil, that's great, like that will really help. All I do is take this and I'll just put my Q-tip in there, let it soak for a second and shake off the excess, and then what I'll do is I'll just apply it to the area. And you can sort of, you like rub it in because I feel like that speeds up the healing process. It's irritating your skin, so your body is rushing to heal it, so that's good too. My last sort of random little thing that does help as well is just some toothpaste. So I've just got this like gross tube of toothpaste out of my bathroom, but you can use anything. You know how people use it on their pimples? So it's kind of the same thing. It does help to clear the skin. It helps to sterilize the area. It's one of those really sort of random things that actually does help. So this is what I'm starting with. So this is a Zoeva 103 Defined Buffer. So all I've done with this is taken my foundation and just lightly stippled it over the area. Generally what I do when I'm doing my foundation is obviously cover my mouth with foundation, but what I've done here is I've sort of tried not to press it in as much, because when you do have a cold sore, your lips do dry out quite a bit. So all I've done is just lightly stippled a little, like nothing, a little tiny layer of foundation just over the top, and that's just all I've done to prep this. And then the second thing I did was use this eyelid primer by ELF. I know it sounds a little random, but all you're doing is just pressing this lightly over the cold sore. And then I'm just going to use my finger to lightly. Now I've already done this, so if it looks a little bit weird, it's probably because it's all dried out, so my bad. So just lightly pressing that over. And I'm just going to do this just to, it really will make sure that that concealer and everything really sticks to it and holds it on there for as long as you need it on there. The next step, I'll be using just some concealer, nothing fancy, nothing expensive. This concealer is seriously like 10 bucks in Australia, I don't know. So all we're going to be doing is just take that all along the lip. Don't put it up onto the lip, just along your like lip line as best as you can get it. And then I'm just going to take my stippling brush again and lightly blend that in and down. On here. Okay, you get it. This is sort of what you're left with. By the way, I lost this video. Sorry, my cold sore's actually not that bad. I filmed this yesterday when it was actually really gross and like actually like blistering. Now it's kind of scabbed over a little bit, but this will definitely work even when it is like in the really gross stage where the blisters are happening as well. So as you can see, that's really helped already to cover the cold sore. Now the next thing I'm going to be using is just some banana powder. This is what I use to bake with, like my under eyes. What we're going to do is we're actually going to bake this onto the cold sore. This might make it look a little bit more dry, but it's also going to ensure that this does stay on like the whole day. So I'm just taking a little stamping brush from Napoleon and just baking that on. We'll probably just leave that to sit for like 5 or 10 minutes just to sink into the skin and really make sure that concealer and that foundation and everything's really going to stick on there and not come off during the day. So the next step, I'll probably just be using my little Zoeva brush again, and I'm just gonna, I don't wipe away powder after I bake, I sort of just tap it in. So that's all you're going to do with that powder, is just tap it in. The next thing is lips. So probably one of the best ways to cover up a cold sore, especially if it's like moved onto your lips, which mine kind of has, is definitely go for like a really opaque shade. Matte, definitely. Gloss is just gonna look gross no matter what color it is. It's just not gonna look good. It just looks really weird. I'm going for a MAC lipstick. It's in the shade Men Love Mystery. So this is like a really opaque purple shade. So I would say probably things like sheen, satin, things like that, they're just going to look weird. They're not going to look right. They're probably going to clump it and they just don't look right. And I would also suggest going for a darker colour if that's what you prefer. I know a lot of people don't like using darker colours, would prefer to use nudes, but I would definitely recommend using the darkest lipstick you have, because the darker it looks, probably the better it's going to look, the more it's going to cover it. If your lipstick is really close to your skin shade and you're putting that over a cold sore, it's just going to make it look flesh coloured and it's not going to cover it. It's going to look really weird. For this one, I don't have a lip liner for it, so I'm going to be using another Zoeva, the 310, the spot liner. And I'm just going to be using this little liner brush just to outline my lips. And this is really helpful with covering the cold sore as well. Just get a little bit of product on there. So I'm just gonna start. Forgive me if I'm really bad at this. I've never done my makeup on camera before, so anyway. What you're doing is this area here, you're trying to sculpt. You're trying to trace your natural lip line as best as you can over the cold sore, if you get what I mean. You can see how I've actually brought the colour over the cold sore. So I'm not avoiding putting lipstick on it, just trying not to go past my actual natural lip line. You can get a little bit more, really get that lip line traced. It's one of those things, it's just really time consuming. You just really got to take your time shaping that lip as best you can. That's what's really going to help make it look as natural as possible. So I'm going to go in, outline the rest of my lip. When you're satisfied with your liner, nothing fancy, all I'm going to do is take my lipstick and just put it on. The only tip I have is don't put too much because it's going to clump, so just a light layer. Alright, there you have it. I'll do a little before and after. The quality of my camera isn't very good. Maybe I'll put some before and after photos in here. That will show you that it is quite covered. As I said, this will work when it's blistering, but I would recommend really cleaning your brushes anytime you're touching the cold sore. So if you're using your little spot liner, use like a bit of antibacterial gel or something just in between moving around your lips. You don't want that cold sore to get any bigger than it is and to move to different locations on your lips. And then the final step I would say is just a little bit of setting spray. So I'm just using the L'Oreal Infallible Fixing Mist. I'm really reading this off the screen, I don't even know what it's called. So shake it up and just do a little bit of a, let that soak in, and that's just going to hold that on there again. That is how I cover up my cold sores with makeup. So that concludes my first video. I hope you guys found these tips helpful and that they will help you with your cold sores. I also quickly wanted to mention the reason my cold sore is so bad is I'm really lazy and don't follow through on the tips that I know work. You know, sometimes you just give up and you're like, whatever, I'm gonna have a cold sore, let it happen. But these are really helpful if you have like an event coming up or something really important, because obviously you want to be looking your best and cold sores detract from that, and that's not good. Again, I hope you liked my first video. I'm hoping to be making more. This is really nerve-wracking for me. It's really new for me, but hopefully this will help you guys and this was an entertaining video. I mean, probably wasn't, but oh well. So I will see you guys in my next video. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That sounds so weird to say because I've been hearing people say it all the time when I watch YouTube videos. But yes, do that, and please subscribe to my channel. It would mean a lot to me. I'm just starting out. Yeah, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! Hey everyone, it's Indy. Especially for women, because you do get a lot stressed. You get a lot stressed. You do get a lot stressed. Whatever, I have uneven eyebrows.